Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. In today's exciting episode, I finally use up the bug fabric and the bee fabric, and this is me deciding which fabric I'll use for the bodice. Do you want to know? One of them's going to be a jacket, and the other one, the Liberty of London, becomes the bodice. Oh no, now you won't have to watch the episode. Anyway, I make layer cake dresses. They took forever, but I've used up loads of fabric, and I was trying to use up 30 yards of fabric this month, and I've used up, almost 20 yards in just these two dresses. So, getting there. It's perfect. Perfect jacket. Okay, so I decided I'm going to make a sunshine layer cake dress because there's no sunshine in the world, so I shall be the sunshine. And these are the fabrics I bought ages ago, and I haven't made a layer cake dress in a long time, and I severely underestimated how long it takes to make one of these things. But anyway, just show you this patchwork dress first. You can very clearly see that it has 4 layers: 2 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards, 16 yards. So you double in each layer. And then with the layer cake dress, you just have the same 3 or 4 layers, but in each one you sew a couple of different fabrics together, and then you work it as a loop. So it's more complicated, but it just looks awesome. So I cut all my bits of fabric into strips, and at the top left you've got 2 at 2 meters, 2 at 4 meters, 2 at 8 meters, and then this big one here is 16 meters or yards, 16. And then once I cut each of them into, obviously a lot of them are only 2 yards long, so I cut the 2 yard piece into 8 strips and then sewed them together, and then that made 16 yards. And I'm finally using up this adorable bug fabric. It's so cool. So anyway, that's how I got them. And I don't recommend doing all that work at once, because it was, normally I just cut everything out, like work out what, use those screenshots that I had of 2 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards. Basically what you need is 3 different types of fabric at 2 yards. And then you need 4 or 5 different fabrics, just 1 yard of them, and you'll have a little bit left over, and you'll have enough to do the bodice as well. So once you have your 3 tiers or your 4 big loops of fabric, that you then have to pleat them down to turn them into a dress. The easiest ones to do are the first to the second, because they're more manageable. So if you haven't done one before, I'd probably start there. But I instead of trying to make this on one day or one weekend, I would definitely just, decide on your fabrics, and then obviously I pleated it all down, but here's the next day is a nice shot of it. So as you can see, the yellow one at the top is 2 yards. The pink is the 4 yards. This is where I decided to halve each of the stuff I'd done so far and put them into 2 skirts and make 2 dresses. So the yellow bug at the top is 2 yards. The pink is 4 yards. Then the 2 mustardy coloured ones are 8 yards. And then the bee fabric, the white bee fabric, and the polka dot fabric and the bug fabric at the bottom, I had 2 yards of each of those and turned them into a 16-yard loop. So it's a very, very big skirt, and it just twirl-tastic. It's absolutely fabulous. And I sort of only used half of this. I just had this pink loop because I made this pink dress and I was going to do a second tier on it, but I ended up liking it as a 1-tier dress, like a really simple dress, for ages ago. So I had that hanging around. So that was just to show you what a 4-yard loop of fabric looks like. So this is the other top of the other dress. So now I have to decide what color to add, and I decide I'm going to add aqua bluey colours to this one. And I thought I might use this one as the bodice. And I thought I might use the leftover of the mustard wisteria one as the bodice on the one with the bees and the bugs. So yeah, they wouldn't stay on the mannequin just leaning on the front. So I ended up having to throw it over the top of the mannequin. So they look like beheaded ghosts or something. Anyway, so then I cut these into strips again. And because I only had 1 yard of each of these, I had to make a smaller dress. That's why this one is 2 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards. And yeah, the 8-yard loop at the bottom has loads of different ones in it. Whereas there's 2 2-yards, 2 4-yards, and then I think there's 4 8-yard ones. So I didn't have enough to do a 16-yard one, but yeah. So I sewed all those, cut them into strips, sewed them all back together. It took forever, but it looks pretty fabulous. And I decided I wanted to have a long bodice on these ones. Normally I do a vintage bodice, which is sort of more cropped than a modern day bodice. But yeah, I decided that because if you have a longer bodice, then I can wear one of my jackets over the top of it, or just like a denim jacket. So I decided I wanted to do that just because they're really, really heavy dresses, and it just means you can put your belt you can like fasten your belt tightly. I mean, you could just, if you're worried about the weight of the skirt, you could just make it as a skirt and make a separate top. But I kind of like just throwing a dress on over and then like one and done sort of thing. So anyway, and this is me I am obsessed with like holding the 2 edges of my dress out or like spinning around. I just think this looks so good. This is me showing you the floral because it's not actually that dark. And I just, there's a really thin layer of aqua in there as well. It's actually a fat quarter, so a quarter of a yard of fabric. And I just cut it into 8 strips and just added that in there because I thought it kind of needed it because there's no aqua in the top. And then this is me deciding which fabric I would use for the bodice on this one. And I do love the flowers, but I mean, it's a bit dodgy, that like unfortunate flower placement on the bust area. I thought that might be it. I don't know. So I went with the Liberty of London fabric, the one with the smaller flowers. And also this one with the flowers, if I turn it into a summer jacket, then I can wear it with both of these dresses, and that would be adorable. So that's what I decided to do. And then I lost the lights, so I just put up a couple of lights around. And it's not very good lighting, but I was so tired at this point, and they're both done. So the bodice pattern that I use is Butterick 6677. The skirt of that is semi-fitted and it's adorable. I've made several dresses that are the semi-fitted skirt, but with this one, I just make big loops of fabric and pleat them down. One of them has mini pleats and one of them has pleats up to the waistline. And I actually like both ways. And I do box pleats on the waistline, but just regular knife pleats. Knife pleats means all the pleats are the same way, whereas box pleats means the centre front and the centre back pleat go in and all the other ones sort of echo out from it around to the side. Now I've put a ribbon on one around the waist, and I've left the other one just without a sash around the waist, because I know some of you want to see what the dress looks like without a sash. I think in the Butterick 6677 pattern, when you make the semi-fit, and then I changed the sashes, because I've got like, I don't know, 50 at least more different sashes, and I just love putting a different sash on every time I get a different dress out. I still haven't hemmed them, so yeah, every time I make a dress, people are like, oh my gosh, how did you get it done so fast? Well, I just haven't hemmed it yet. But yeah, also these took forever, hence the lateness of the episode. Sorry about that. But and I will make one next month where I show you how to pleat and I show you how to do the burrito method of the for the bodice. But I've got several videos where I've done those things before, and I'll put links to them down in the description box below. But I just forgot, I think. Like, I erased it from my mind how long these dresses take to make. But oh my goodness, they're just so adorable, and you get to play with all the cute fabrics. And yeah, I love the way that they turned out. I absolutely love it. I mean, I could have done 2 different bodices. If you are worried about the weight of the skirt, you could always do a like a fitted bodice with a zip at the side, but I just think that's too much weight on a zip personally, and I would rather just wear a pullover dress and tie a sash around the waist. So once again, the bodice I used was Butterick 6677. It's got a lot of ease. It's a bit baggier than perhaps what other people are used to. This is slightly more fitted. It's a top, there's a fit line at the waist, so I just cropped it at the waist, and it's got a keyhole in it, so that if you want a keyhole bodice, that's a pretty easy one to do. And then this one is like more cropped, and it just looks adorably vintage. And if you want puff sleeves, then I would recommend this New Look one because they are adorable. And calculations for the skirt, if you want a truly epic one, I highly recommend this one. And so you need the bottom 3 strips of fabric, 2 yards of each of those, and all the ones above you need 1 yard. Unlike the top layer, you won't use the whole of the 1 yard, but then you can use it as the lining on your bodice. So yeah, or if you don't have any plain cotton to use for the lining on the bodice, which is what I did. And then with this one here, it uses slightly less fabric because instead of the bottom tier being 16, it was only 8, which is half, and it's considerable difference. So there's a few yards less in that one, and it's still epic. But if you love twirling around in your dress, like doing Maria at the start of Sound of Music, then I definitely recommend. Actually, yeah, start with the 2 yards, 4 yards, 8 yards one, and then like sort of build your way up. So I do have a separate video on layer cakes, and I just talk about how I started with a plain dress and then sort of just got more and more elaborate as I went. You have to think about your sewing machine as well, because if you go from not using it to using it like you know, for 12 hours straight or something, it's going to seize. So just think about, yeah, it's much easier to do it a little bit each night. And it's also easier on your sewing machine. So anyway, that is it for this episode. I am all tuckered out, but I'm so happy with these 2 dresses. They're absolutely adorable. And yeah, so rummage through your fabric stash, get out all the fabrics that you don't have enough of, or, you know, when you make a dress and you bought a yard extra in case you messed up the bodice or anything, just get all those fabrics out. You need 3 bits of fabric that are 2 yards long and 4 or 5 bits that are just 1 yard or half a yard. 2 of them can be only half a yard. And then you can make one of these delightful layer cake dresses for yourself. It takes forever, but oh my gosh, they are just so completely worth it. And I've used up all my bug fabric, which is kind of a shame because I wanted to make a jacket and now I can't. But oh well, I love these dresses, so I'm very happy with them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and happy sewing. Happy rifling through your fabric stash and mixing and matching and clashing patterns, and happy sewing a layer cake dress. It will take forever, but it's so completely worth it. When this is me trying to show you how much bigger the 16-yard loop at the bottom is, like how much bigger the skirt of the pink one is compared to the blue one. And yeah, really working for me, isn't it? Anyway, they're both adorable. And I love that, yeah, they're just rays of sunshine. I think I'll go call that one the Sunshine and Blue Sky, and I'll call the other one Bees and Bugs, because I finally used up my bee fabric and my bug fabric. So awesome. Oh, they're so cute. I'm not entirely sure I needed 2 sunshine dresses, but you know, the world is definitely very bleak, so yeah. At least my wardrobe will be nice and bright. Oh yeah, and just ignore the storage boxes in the background. I was trying to find some beads and everything's everywhere at the moment. I really need to clean up. I love this shot of this skirt. It's so cool. It's going to look so good with a denim jacket. Speaking of, next episode will be a jacket. Vogue 7975. If I can find the pattern, I don't know where I put it. That's why I made the dress. I was like, oh, I'll just do a dress. That'll be easy. Famous last words. Okay, bye.